right now, nothing is done. Well, I mean, like, some things are done, but nothing is actually finished. Which, okay, like, that doesn't make any sense, but I mean, like, they're done. Like, there's things that are functional. Like, that's ready to go. The top is, it works. These shelves work, but, like, the wall's not finished. And, like, this thing, I can hang stuff, but, like, it all looks like garbage. And I mean, it's not gonna look, like, great or anything, but I just want stuff to look a little bit better than it does. But in the fashion of doing things with continuity errors everywhere, which, I'm pretty good at. I never actually made, like, a Garage Update 1, so I'm just gonna kind of, like, explain what this place looked like when I first moved in, and then I'm going to try and find pictures of like the pieces that I'm talking about. Number one is it was absolutely filthy in here. None of the lights worked. Like, it smelled like something died in here. Like, there's those cabinets up on the wall in the corner, which I recycled to make those. So that cleaned up tons of space. I took those old shelves from the laundry room and I put them up in here. So, like, free shelves. Now I can put all the Tonka tools away. The compressors in the far room, which I had this hose that didn't reach the front of cars. So now I have this thing all set up. This room still needs a lot of help. Like, I started cleaning it up and everything, but I mean, like, there's still parts everywhere. And I don't know what to do with them all right now. So this is just kind of like throw it and forget it sort of thing. There was an oil furnace that sat here, which is not legal to use without like a ridiculous amount of protocols. Like, the tank has to be outside. It has to have a 6-foot fence going around it so nothing can get into it or damage anything. It has to have a newer tank design that's like a dual wall or whatever. So if it gets punctured, it's not going to leak. And then if it does leak, then it needs to have some kind of drainage system that can catch the capacity of the tanks. It's not going to go into like the environment. So, like, short story long is Canadian government has made it like not worthwhile to use an oil furnace anymore unless you already have everything ready to go. And even then, the updates and regulations and stuff, it's just not worth it. So I just got rid of the entire thing and that was recycled. And now I have this vent that comes out. That doesn't even go anywhere. But what I wanted to do is get a natural gas heater and kind of bolt it up into that spot. So that way everything can kind of still come through there or in that area. And then as for the toolbox, it doesn't fit correctly because I wanted it flat up against the wall, but I can't because it's like a quarter of an inch too big to fit between these bricks. So there's no way. Like, literally, like, if I cut this little ear thing off, then like it would just squeeze in, but because only 2 of the wheels rotate, I can't push it forward and backward. It has to go side to side or like angle. So like it's just not gonna fit. So I still have to take all that crap out. I'm still working on a video for this whole like shelf thing or whatever from like when I recycled in the corner and like remade this thing. So I gotta finish like the whole update on the workbench top and whatever, and I still have lots of stuff to do, but like this whole top piece looked like disgusting. So I guess like the previous owner just like coated it with epoxy and then like UV over the years. It's I don't know. It was like yellow. It was super gross. And then for whatever reason, the steel plate was just kind of like chilling in the middle. So it was really inconvenient to work on things. So now it's like way over in the corner and it's kind of like my like surface hammering plate sort of thing. So that way I'm not like destroying the wood top. One of the drawers is missing. They have super random handles and everything. Like the drawers absolutely suck too. Like they fall out as soon as you try and open them. So I have to fix those still. But this like wood thing in the bottom right here, it's kind of hard to see, but like this section right here where it comes out and then goes across, that's where all this wood was from, or at least most of this wood, because it had like this giant base that came out and then it went back in on an angle, so you had like more room over here. But then within this wood thing there was a giant metal frame, and then it came up, went right up to the ceiling, and it went all the way across, and then it came down, and the rest of it attached to the wall where, I mean, like some of the repairs are done but it still looks like shit, and that came down to the bottom and it attached to the wall and everything. It was all bolted in and whatever, and like that fucking sucked. I don't know, that took a while. My friend and I had to like cut that up just to get it out of here. Then all of that went in for recycling, so now there's way more space in here for actually working on things. Like I've easily gained about a foot on each side. And then there's like some random stuff hanging on that wall over by the light switches. So I just ripped all that off and just kind of cleaned the wall up a little bit. I don't know, make it look less like a friggin' meth lab in here. And I mean, for the most part, that's pretty much everything for like part 1 and like why I never covered it. Like, it wasn't tons of stuff that I did. It was just like minor things to make more space. And like, those are all kind of one thing. Because I took those cupboards down to put those shelves up. And then I used those cupboards to make that cupboard. And then I took the little like rack things that were on the wall to put over here. So all 3 of those are kind of like ongoing projects within each other, and I can actually just kind of dedicate on like one corner. But realistically, I'm doing like pretty much everything at once. So they're all kind of like interlinked with each other. So in like the magical world of YouTube, these are all separate videos where I tried to dedicate what I was doing to one specific area just so it's not super confusing and I'm just doing a whole bunch of random crap all over the place. But in reality, that's exactly what's happening. I'm trying to do all of this pretty much at the same time around bringing vehicles in here to actually get some work done. So all of these like garage upgrade things, I'm trying to keep regular uploads so I have 2 videos every month. I have to do this stuff anyway. Like it has to get done so I can actually start being more productive in here by not having a bunch of crap everywhere because I don't have room to actually store everything. So by having more shelves, more places to hang things, more cupboards, more workbench space, it's all adding to like the productivity value of the garage, because then I'm spending more time actually getting work done on cars than I am actually like looking for stuff. But I mean, that's pretty much where I'm at so far. Like I'm currently working on part 3, 4, and 5. And then for part 6, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing because there's quite a few like bigger projects that I have to do. One of which is finishing the bottom section there because I can barely use those drawers. As soon as I try and take them out, they like almost fall out. Like they're completely garbage. So I'm gonna have to figure something out there. When I bought the house, it was also missing one of the drawers. So I don't know if I'm gonna make a new one or if I'm just gonna seal that bottom section up and then try and make like cupboards or something. I'm not sure. I also have to like fix these doors because they're all like half-ass kind of thrown together and like nothing actually holds in place or whatever. So like that one has like a gate latch and this one has a piece of wood with a screw in it. There's still like lots of stuff that I have to do to the bottom of this to make it not shit, but right now it's functional, so I've just kind of left it while I'm doing more important things that are pending. That's one whole thing that I have to do, is refinish the whole bottom of that thing. Another thing I have to do is take out this whole brick concrete thing so I can actually fit the toolbox into the proper position, which will give me more room to move this chair out of the way. And that comes to here, where I have to make the doorway centered with the airline, because it's not. It's like over to one side for some reason because they just hacked a hole in the wall when they were making that doorway. So I gotta move that over, make like a proper doorway that comes out with the studs and everything lining up in the middle, make a new frame, and then I can actually affix a proper door to there. So then I can close that room off and then the compressor will be quieter, as well as putting up drywall and everything and then soundproofing the room. So that way that compressor can run as many times as it wants to and it's not gonna disturb any of the videos. And there's like the whole situation with the ceiling. I have no idea what to do because the garage door doesn't close at the top. Because whoever installed this just kind of like threw it in place. They're like, yep, that's good. The bottom of the door hits the ground before the top can roll far enough over the corner, which means that the top doesn't actually close. There's a huge gap there. Like in the daytime, you can see light coming through it. To fix that, I have to move this up like an inch. But the issue with that is the rollers are going to hit the ceiling because they only have about an inch before they're going to hit. I'm not entirely sure what to do. Like I'm probably just going to rip the whole ceiling out anyway because like there's like a random light there for no reason. Like that's not needed at all and it hooks up a friggin' extension cord. So like yeah, I'm sure that's safe. And this one right here, that one doesn't even work. And it just had like a random cord hanging off of it. Like the cord is still right here. It's literally just some like cable that you're supposed to be running inside of a wall that they bent the ground over and just put like a universal end on it to plug it in. Everything is done so half-ass and it's so sketchy. So I'm trying to like undo all of the mistakes. I gotta take that down, recycle that, take that one down, recycle that one. And then I have to figure out some kind of like ceiling solution for in here. Because ideally I want to have an electric garage door opener, one that's ALEXA controlled so I can be like, hey, open the garage. And then it'll just open the garage for me. Or like if someone needs to come over and use the garage or just like borrow some tools or whatever, then they can just shoot me a text and then I'll just go on my phone and tell it to open the door and it'll just open the door for them. So it'd be super convenient to have all that going, but the ceiling is too low. So I think the best course of action is just rip out the entire ceiling. But obviously not right now because it's the middle of winter. This is just going to be like a ridiculous amount of work. I was kind of playing with the idea of having a vaulted ceiling because there's not really anything important up there anyway. If I gut the whole thing, I could just put a support beam at each side, have a vaulted ceiling going all the way up with all the room that I need, and then just add the trusses that go up along like the actual peak of the roof with the braces going across the top, and then just drywall the whole thing. And then the lights would be significantly higher up, so that would reduce shadows and everything. So I don't know, just make it a lot easier working on cars like that, or painting. Plus I'd have all the overhead space that I'd need where I could fix that door correctly. I could put a garage door opener and everything. I'd be able to have, you know, pretty much everything up there. I could even run like airlines and stuff from the compressor up along the top and then just have fittings in the walls. So instead of dragging that all the way across, which is super convenient, it would still be easier just to have like a short little like 10-foot hose and then just plug it into the wall, and then I have enough space to go to wherever I need, and then just unplug it, plug it into a different fitting, and I can just do that around the garage. This makes it a lot easier to work with stuff. Like, I still have tons of stuff that I have to fix before I'm getting to that point. So I'm not really sure what the next course of action is going to be, at least in terms of like the next garage upgrade video or update or whatever the hell I'm calling these. But I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, that was part one. It had this huge giant frame that just took up tons of space for no reason. There was cabinets that I took down to recycle to make those. There was a giant oil furnace, which I can't legally use anyway. There was just like a bunch of wooden stuff just nailed to random places all over the wall. So I'm just trying to clean it up, make it, you know, tolerable, a little bit more organized. I've done a lot, and there's still way more to go. So like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, that's cool. Subscribe if you haven't, that helps out a lot. And then eventually YouTube will probably pay me to make videos like this. Then, you know, I can live in this little shitty box and that'll be my life. Or, you know, don't do any of it. I'm not telling you what to do.